Daniel chapter 11. And as for me, in the first year of Darius the Mede, I stood up to confirm and strengthen him. And now I will show you the truth. Behold, 3 more kings will arise in Persia, and a 4th will be far richer than all of them. And when he has become strong through his riches, he will stir up all against the kingdom of Greece. Then a mighty king will arise who will rule with great dominion and will do as he wills. And as soon as he has risen, his kingdom will be broken and divided toward the 4 winds of heaven, but not to his posterity, nor according to the authority with which he ruled, for his kingdom will be plucked up and go to others besides these. Then the king of the south will be strong, but one of his princes will be stronger than he, and shall rule, and his authority will be a great authority. After some years, they will make an alliance, and the daughter of the king of the south will come to the king of the north to make an agreement, but she will not retain the strength of her arm, and he and his arm shall not endure, but she shall be given up, and her attendants, he who fathered her, and he who supported her in those times. And from a branch, from her roots, one will arise in his place. He will come against the army and enter the fortress of the king of the north, and he will deal with them and will prevail. He will also carry off to Egypt their gods with their metal images and their precious vessels of silver and gold. And for some years he will refrain from attacking the king of the north. Then the latter will come to the realm of the king of the south, but will return to his own land. His sons will wage war and assemble a multitude of great forces, which will keep coming and overflow and pass through, and again will carry the war as far as his fortress. Then the king of the south, moved with rage, will come out and fight against the king of the north, and he will raise a great multitude, but it will be given into his hand. And when the multitude is taken away, his heart will be exalted, and he will cast down tens of thousands, but he will not prevail. For the king of the north will again raise a multitude greater than the first, and after some years he will come up with a great army and abundant supplies. In those times many will rise against the king of the south, and the violent among your own people will lift themselves up in order to fulfill the vision, but they will fail. Then the king of the north will come and throw up siege works and take a well-fortified city, and the forces of the south will not stand, or even his best troops, for there will be no strength to stand. But he who comes against him will do as he wills, and none will stand before him, and he will stand in the glorious land with destruction in his hand. He will set his face to come with the strength of his whole kingdom, and he will bring terms of an agreement and perform them. He will give him the daughter of women to destroy the kingdom, but it will not stand or be to his advantage. Afterward, he will turn his face to the coastlands and will capture many of them, but a commander will put to an end his insolence. Indeed, he will turn his insolence back upon them. Then he will turn his face back toward the fortresses of his own land, but he will stumble and fall and will not be found. Then will arise in his place one who will send an exactor of tribute for the glory of the kingdom, but within a few days he will be broken, neither in anger nor in battle. In his place will arise a contemptible person, to whom royal majesty has not been given. He will come in without warning and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. Armies will be utterly swept away before him and broken, even the prince of the covenant. And from the time that an alliance is made with him, he will act deceitfully, and he will become strong with a small people. Without warning, he will come into the richest parts of the province, and he will do what neither his fathers nor his fathers' fathers have done, scattering among them plunder, spoil, and goods. He will devise plans against strongholds, but only for a time, and he will stir up his power and his heart against the kingdom of the south with a great army. And the king of the south will wage war with an exceedingly great and mighty army, but he will not stand, for plots will be devised against him. Even those who eat his food will break him. His army will be swept away, and many will fall down slain. And as for the two kings, their hearts will be bent on doing evil. They will speak lies at the same table, but to no avail, for the end is yet to be at the time appointed. And he will return to his land with great wealth, but his heart will be set against the holy covenant, and he will work his will and return to his own land. At the time appointed, he will return and come to the south, but it will not be this time as it was before. For ships of Kittim will come against him, and he will be afraid and withdraw, and will turn back and be enraged and take action against the holy covenant. He will turn back and pay attention to those who forsake the holy covenant. Forces from him will appear and profane the temple and fortress, and will take away the regular burnt offering. And they will set up an abomination that makes desolate. He will seduce with flattery those who violate the covenant, but the people who know their God will stand firm and take action, and the wise among the people will make many understand, though for some days they will stumble by sword and flame, by captivity and plunder. When they stumble, they will receive a little help, and many will join themselves to them with flattery. And some of the wise will stumble, so that they may be refined, purified, and made white, until the time of the end. For it still awaits the appointed time. And the king will do as he wills. He will exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and will speak astonishing things against the God of gods. He will prosper till the indignation is accomplished. For what is decreed will be done. He will pay no attention to the God of his fathers or to the one beloved by women. He will not pay attention to any other God, for he will magnify himself above all. He will honor the God of fortresses instead of these, a God whom his fathers did not know. He will honor with gold and silver, with precious stones and costly gifts. He will honor the God of fortresses instead of these, a God whom his fathers did not know. He will honor with gold and silver, with precious stones and costly gifts. He will deal with the strongest fortresses with the help of a foreign god. Those who acknowledge him he will load with honor. He will make them rulers over many and will divide the land for a price. At the time of the end, the king of the south will attack him, but the king of the north will rush upon him like a whirlwind, with chariots and horsemen, and with many ships. He will come into countries and will overflow and pass through. He will come into the glorious land, and tens of thousands will fall, but these will be delivered out of his hand, Edom and Moab, and the main part of the Ammonites. He will stretch out his hand against the countries, and the land of Egypt will not escape. He will become ruler of the treasuries of gold and silver, and all the precious things of Egypt, and the Libyans and the Cushites will follow his train. But news from the east and the north will alarm him, and he will go out with great fury to destroy and devote many to destruction, and he will pitch his palatial tent between the sea and the glorious holy mountain. Yet he will come to his end with none to help him.